everybody. We are finally back in our country house. And after, the restriction that we went through for the last 6-7 months, we never managed to come here. But to celebrate this moment, I decided to make a dish that is typical of the Milanese cuisine, and it's called la Cassoeula. But we have a problem because Nazim cannot pronounce this name.
Not true.
Try.
Cassoeula.
No, Casoeûla is not Spanish. It's Milanese. We can help you starting with the Cassoe.
Cassoe. Cassoe.
He's been living here for 25 years and he ate the Casoeûla sometimes, but it's still a mystery for him. Casoeûla.
Cassoeula.
Casoeûla.
Cassoeula.
Casoeûla.
Cassoeula.
Very good. Let's see the ingredients. Now you have to be a little patient to make il soffritto all'italiana. Carote, cipolle, sedano, which is celery, carrots, and onion. Chop it very fine. As I said, it requires a little bit of patience, but the result will repay your effort. Okay, we are done. Now put your soffritto on a side and on another wood board, chop a small onion. Now you take a nice big pot, you see, but it has to have a very heavy bottom because it's gonna cook quite a while. And you put inside 30 grams of butter and 5 or 6 spoons of olive oil. When your butter is melted, you can add the chopped onion and cook it until it gets transparent. Don't make it get brown, it will be too much, just transparent. And in the meantime, as you see, the pig leg is boiling, and I'm preparing a little bit of broth, just in case what I'm cooking becomes too thick, so I can make it a little bit more liquid with the broth. And now we have to deal with the pork. I take my sausage and I cut this length, about 10 centimeters. And then they will go with the rest of the meat. Come si chiama questo, il budello?
Budello is the outer skin of the sausage.
The outer skin.
Casing.
Casing skin.
Casing.
So keep the casing skin because it will help while it's cooking not to spread around. Okay, let's see if the onion is okay. It's time to put the meat inside the pot, and we have the sausage and the pork chops. Okay, we put everything in the pot, and when the meat will be a little white, it will be time to take it out, and I will show you how to proceed. Don't forget to stir your meat so that it can cook evenly. In the meantime, we've cooked our pork leg, pork foot. It could cook 1 hour, and we put it on the side. Now that the meat is almost white, as you can see, it's time to add our white cooking wine, almost a glass, and then you let it cook until the wine is completely evaporated. Okay, Now you put your meat on a separate dish, and we will use the liquid that we have on the bottom of the pot to cook our verza. Come si chiama la verza?
Cabbage.
Now it's time to cook our chopped vegetables in the leftover sauce that we have in the pot. We will let them cook for a couple of minutes. You have of course to stir to avoid the vegetable to get stuck to the bottom of your pot. And this will be the base of the sauce we're gonna make with the tomato. Now it's time to add a little bit of tomato sauce. I wish I had our tomato sauce, but this year, last summer we didn't have the time to do it. And we have to use the one from the bottle. And the amount would be 150 grams, which is about half of this bottle. So you don't have to pour too much sauce because it only is supposed to give a little bit of taste and not to be a real tomato sauce. Okay, now we add some broth.
That's beef broth, right?
Yes. And pepper. I like a lot of pepper, so you can put as much as you want, but I like it quite tasty. And salt. 1 or 2 pinches. You can adjust to your taste. So don't put too much. You can always add in a second time. So put the fire very low and let it cook for 20 minutes. Don't forget to cover so it doesn't get too dry. This is the vegetable that we're gonna use. Green, I would call green cabbage. I don't know how you call it. It's a little bit like the Chinese cabbage. So you have to open all the leaves, which is quite amusing, by the way. Don't worry about keeping them entire because we're gonna chop them anyway. And then we're gonna wash them. And as I said, chop them in large pieces. You just need the leaves. You see inside there is a thick
Stem.
white
It's a stem.
stem. Okay, this one. You can throw this away. It's too hard to use. So you chop it roughly like this. Then you wash it. Okay, 20 minutes went by. It's time to add our cabbage. It's clean. You don't have to dry it because the humidity will help our sauce not to dry. And it will take about 10 minutes for the leaves to soften. Lower the fire and cover.
Betty, come.
Okay, after 10-15 minutes, that's the way your cabbage is supposed to look like. If you see that the leaves are still a little bit hard, add a little broth. And now it's time to put our meat inside. Everything. The pork ribs, the sausage, and the pork foot. You know what we did since we should be 4 people tonight? I asked the butcher,
The butcher.
macellaio to cut it in 4 so they can do it for you. Once you put all the meat inside, you stir so that all the ingredients mix together. Try to be a little delicate when you stir. And do it this way. Okay. Now we just have to wait. I'll add a little bit of broth, and every now and then, this has to cook for 1 hour. For 1 hour, covered. You have to check it every now and then to make sure that everything is fine. And if you see that it gets too dry, add a little bit of broth, but a little at a time, not too much at the same time. And let's see in 1 hour the result. Nazim, è pronta la cassoeula?
La Casoeûla is ready.
Vabbè, I give up.
The great thing about this dish is that it's perfect for when it's cold outside and you want to enjoy it with your friends and a nice bottle of red wine. Look at that.
So this is the end of our recipe, and we're very happy to show you this little culinary jewel, because Nazim was...
I was insisting to have. When are you gonna make for me la cassoeula?
Casoeûla. You will never learn it.
I'll never learn this word.
Cassoeûla. I just want to remind you that this was a very poor dish made with the pork leftovers. So in the original recipe, you can find ears, come si chiama la pelle?
Pork rind.
The pork rind. And nowadays, of course, we do it in a little lighter version. So
that's it. Goodbye from Nazim, Beltran, and Elisabetta Chiesi of Casa Chiesi. Subscribe to our newsletter and check out our website, www.casachiesi.com.